Roxana Agler is a school board member under fire in District 142 for her alarming behavior during board meetings. In April, she was filmed during board business behaving unprofessionally, stomping around, spitting out her gum, spinning in her chair, making faces at parents, and more. Parents alerted us to the concerns that Agler wastes time in district meetings fighting with board members, insulting them, and ranting about random conspiracies. Parents of the district want their board doing school business and not trying to control Agler's out-of-control behavior. Through a FOIA request, we obtained the audio recording of Agler's fight during a board meeting in January over meeting times. Agler wanted the board meetings moved to 6 p.m. to accommodate her schedule, and she isn't interested to hear why 6 p.m. is too early for working parents.
I wanted to revisit the board meeting times since 4 of the 7 people on this board have young children, for starters, and I wanted to involve the community more and children more in our board meetings, which is really what you're supposed to hear board meetings for.
Contrary to Agler's claims, school board meetings are not for children, but they are to take care of the business of the school district.
And if you have it too late, you can't get the kids in here, especially kindergartners or, first early act club.
Storytime Digital Media has been to a lot of board meetings, but never have we been to one where kindergartners would actually enjoy them.
Which I think brings a better vibe to these meetings. I would really like to revisit that and maybe have them be a start time of 6 and maybe make the committee meetings on a different day or earlier. Or I just think we need to revisit that because the majority, you want to go with what works for the majority and for the community, not what works for 1 or 2 people, because that's really not it.
Well, when we had them early, nobody came.
Well, it doesn't mean we shouldn't try.
Well, they were at 6:30 for years. How long were they at 6:30, Jerry?
Long time.
Long time.
Well, I mean, this is a whole new crew. We have a whole new group. We have a lot of new people. I think we should try something different. I think we should start earlier. I mean,
well, we've, what were we at? We were at
7.
we were at 7.
But it wasn't, it used to be at 6, for a while it was
Right,
at 6:30.
it's been at 6:30, it's actually been at
years.
6.
we should
And
really.
what I found over the years is if you have a 6 o'clock meeting, a lot of people can't come to that meeting because they'd like to get their children fed. Their
6:30.
Their spouses come home, they have dinner at a set time, and then they come to the meeting afterwards.
Okay.
Now, the other side of that is, if we have the meeting at 6 o'clock, then they come to the meeting at 6 o'clock and they don't feed their family till afterwards. So these are, and anybody else want to
I just think we should
jump
go
in
with
on
what
this?
works for a community, what works for the board, and not just what works for 1 or 2 people, because the majority of these people have, including myself, small children. These people have to sit here until 7:30, this whole group of this whole administration. Some people have the committee meetings, some people don't. I think that you have to envelop the big picture, not 1 or 2 people who just don't want to change or do something different.
Everybody's going to have an
I'm
opinion.
just telling you,
Some people,
the grander picture, the big picture, would work better for more people to have the meetings earlier. It doesn't work for 2 or 3 people.
and when we had the meetings at 6:30 and we had the kids for Christmas,
What was this, 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
No.
Gary?
4 years ago,
Okay, this is a whole new crew. Gary.
it's a whole new
It's a whole new
board.
world. It's a whole new
So-
year.
No, it's a whole new board.
Yeah, and
It's not a
exactly.
whole
Why
new
don't we do
world out there.
something different?
It's not different, we've already done it.
Yeah, in the past, this is new.
Everybody think about it, we'll put it in the next meeting.
Yeah.
I just think it's something that should be brought up. When you commit to a board, you commit to a lot. And I'm committed to PTA, the school board, the parent advisory council. I have 2 special needs kids. I run a business, 18 tenants. I do all my own leases, all my own accounting, all my own evictions. My point being, if you're gonna commit to a board, you commit to whatever it takes. And it's not about you or me or anybody. It's about the entire community. It's about the whole group, not just 7 people. Not just 7 people. It's about the entire community.
And I think respectfully, like, everyone has very busy lives
We
and
all do,
schedules. Like,
but this is something
so
that has been in the
it's-
works for a long time. That there's been a lot of dissension about this. And I know you haven't been a part of that, so I'm not calling you out on it. But I do think it's something that should be brought up and should be considered because I don't agree with it being at 7:30. That's too late for most people.
You may not agree, there's pros and cons to any time that we have.
You don't have to worry about it, Jerry. What do you go home to? How many kids do you have at home? Little kids you have at home? You don't have to worry about it, Jerry. What do you go home to? How many kids do you have at home? Little kids you have at home? I'm sorry. Coming from
You know,
you.
I do have a life outside this.
Let's move on.
We'll put that down as an agenda
Put it
item.
on the agenda, everybody think about it, and we'll discuss it. I don't
I have one more thing.
Yes.
There has been an instance recently of which is either affiliated with the school board or affiliated with our PTA, and we are bringing this to the police as well. I hope you don't mind, Melissa. Melissa Flaherty and I have been part of some kind of a catfishing scheme on Facebook. Somebody catfished somebody to my house on Saturday evening while Melissa was there. It happened to be somebody Melissa knew. And the same person has created this fake profile and come at me and Melissa with it. So we're not sure who this is.
Define catfish.
I don't even know what that is.
Catfishing is when somebody creates a fake profile and lures someone else in romantically. That's a catfishing scheme. And so there was a gentleman that showed up at my house at 7 o'clock on Saturday night who was looking for a young lady named Jenna Zubrick. And there obviously is no Jenna Zubrick. But she knew my address, she knew my daughter's name, she knew Melissa's name, she knew Melissa went to PTA on the previous Thursday stating she went for drinks with Melissa. She said my daughter was getting ready with her and her parents were in the Bahamas, LOL. I mean, so whoever's doing it, at some point we will find out. But it's obviously affiliated, and this evening we had some texts from this person, both Melissa and I. Saturday we both did, and then prior to that it was this guy, right? Yeah, so we are trying to figure out who it is, but please keep your eyes and ears open. But it's obviously affiliated with the district, because Melissa and I are the only two people this person is targeting. You know, quite frankly, if it was just me, it's a bigger pool, I get that. But it's Melissa and I, so I can't imagine who wouldn't like Melissa Flaherty. So it's very strange. So it's either PTA affiliated or board affiliated, because it's just a little too coincidental that this evening, a half hour before the board meeting, I'm getting messages from this person, so it's Melissa. So, and then Saturday evening when she comes to my house for something, and then the prior thing was a PTA meeting that they knew she was at. So something's not right. So we're going to the police, but in order to get this person's IP address, you have to have a subpoena. Whether they take it up or down, the Facebook page, it's always backed up. So you can always ping the IP address, but you have to have a subpoena. So I don't know how.
What does this have to do with the board?
It has to do with the fact that it's either affiliated with the board, like somebody on the board or one of their friends might have done this, or somebody through the PTA. So I'm not quite sure. So either somebody affiliated with the school board or somebody affiliated with the PTA, because they know enough about us that it had to be one or the other.
Okay, thank you, Roxanne.
Concerned parents of District 142 don't want their board members wasting their time by discussing catfishing fantasies and conspiracy theories that are better left to late-night talk radio. Running a school board in the state of Illinois that is facing an enormous budget crisis is serious business for serious people. The concerned parents of the Forest Ridge School District agree, and they want Roxana Agler to resign.